One.
Hey, so welcome. This is Chris Wise, and I'm excited to be sharing this gift with you guys. I have some special guests here. I have Dr. Hazel-Grace Yates, and I have Sean Patrick Maher. Well, how you guys? Welcome.
Thank you.
Great to be here. Thanks for having us, Chris.
Yeah, and so the reason that I wanted to share this with you ladies, guys, girls, whoever's going to be watching this, is that over the 15 years that I've been studying relationships, masculine and the feminine, understanding how to open up women to their true divine goddess potential, I've done a lot of different workshops, read a lot of different books. I've been on panels and experts, and I've spoken a lot myself. But when HazelGrace, when I met HazelGrace really just a week ago, and she shared with me what she has put together, I was like, oh my God, this is so fucking cool. And so I'm super excited for you guys to be sharing what you guys are up to, the event that you have coming here in LA on, what's the date?
October 15th. On
October 15th. And so I think, really where I'd want to start with you guys is, what is your mission? What are you guys really up to and what you're doing?
Mm-hmm. So my personal mission and purpose on being on planet Earth is to help end global sexual shame. And when I imagine the world when the shame is healed, I imagine a world where there's peace and there's love and there's celebration and there's sacredness and pleasure, and this negativity of violence towards self and other, and all the ramifications that come from that are going to be a thing of the past. And so to me, this is the most important mission that we have on planet Earth, is this. And I've been doing this work for a long time, and I have never experienced or facilitated something that has such potency within a day or hours, where people literally walk out a different human being. So that's my personal mission, and also the mission of the project.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah, and just to share my personal mission as well, my mission is to support the regeneration of healthy masculinity on planet Earth. And this is one of those spaces that needs a lot of attention. Our sexuality is a space of power and beauty and richness, and it's often shrouded and covered by shame and sadness and pain. And just the opportunity to speak in a compassionate circle opens up so much of that and frees us up to get back to some of that beauty and some of that power and beauty.
Yeah. And HazelGrace, I remember when you initially shared that with me, because that is also one of the things I'm standing for, is freedom in that area. And I remember that's why we vibe so much. So the way that you're bringing this forward and helping fulfill this mission is quite unique. And so would you guys please, ladies and gentlemen, like guys, I would say, will you girls, like then Dawn might be like, oh, I don't like girls. So,
y'all works good.
Y'all.
Will y'all please share how you're doing this?
Yeah. So each process, the Cock Project, I said it.
Well, let's
go to that part then.
I wasn't supposed to say it.
We were going to share the shocking reveal at the end. So you have quite a unique name for this, and since it's already been half revealed, it can be a little shocking. Why don't you just share what the name of this project is?
Okay, so the name of the project is the Cock Project and the Pussy Project. And I do want to name that a lot of people are, some people might think that there's nudity involved, or that they're not ready for it, or a lot of people come out of it being like, wow, that was a lot more gentle and safe than I thought by the name of it. So there is a little bit of a reaction, and we are wanting to have people, we want people to have their attention grabbed, like, whoa, we're going to be talking about cocks and pussies in front of men and women. Yes, that's what we're doing. We're having real, authentic conversations, genuine shares about what it's like to be you with your genitals, with all genders witnessing your stories. So as I just mentioned, the Cock Project starts we start with a cock project, which is a 3-hour process. And the first 45 minutes is spent creating the safest possible container, so boundaries, agreements, ways of being, so that once we get into the sharing portion of the process, everyone feels like a group ground of health, and everyone feels has discernment on how much they're willing to share based on the level of safety that they feel within their own system. And so the cock project, anyone who identifies as having a cock is invited into the inner circle, which is the sharing circle, and anyone can sit on the witness circle. So oftentimes it's mainly the men in the middle and mainly women on the outside. And for an hour and a half, Sean guides them on different questions and prompts about what it's like to be them regarding their genitals and their sexuality. And they share as freely as they feel like sharing. No one's required to share. And the outside circle, the witnesses, I'm sitting with them, and we're holding space, sacredly listening from a place of compassion and curiosity. And the sweetest, most potent part of the process is actually the witnesses when they share what it's like to be that, what it's like to have heard and hold space for. And we do it in a way it's very succinct. When I heard you say this thing, I felt this, and the difference it made for me is this. And there's usually huge impacts and tears, and a lot of assumptions get cleared away. Forgiveness happens, healing happens, letting go happens, the othering diminishes, and we feel closer as gendered, as humans, right? And so that's the cock project process. We'll have a meal break on this day, on the 15th, and then we'll do the pussy project, which is the reverse, with the individuals who identify as having a pussy on the inside, and then the witness circle. And then the witness circle will get to share their impact as well.
So let me ask you this: when on the first half a day in the cock project, what do the men walk away with? What's the impact for the men in this initial sharing?
Yeah, what I think, what I know I walked away with the first time I ever did the cock project, the first time I was ever involved, I was actually in attendance. And I walked away with, the experience was something I'd never had before. Here I am going to speak about my sexuality, all the challenges, all the beauty, all the celebration. And I'm going to do that in an environment that's not just men. I've been in a lot of men's groups. It wasn't just men, but it was also all identities, all gender identities are present in this room, and we're all holding space for one another in a compassionate way. I'd never been in a container that was so available for me to share some of the things that I hold as some of my darkest moments in my life, and also some of the highest and most celebratory moments in my life. Some things that I never thought I would actually be feeling comfortable enough to share in a group space. Suddenly there was just availability for it. It was just opened up, and my ability to share my story, suddenly it was like, oh, I don't have to carry this weight anymore. I can put it down and I can let it go. And I can also recognize that there are others in this space who have also had the same experience. Both people that are just like me as a cock owner and other. Like, we all seem to share this similar experience of challenge and celebration around our sexuality. So there was a sense of community, there was a sense of connectedness, and there was a sense of liberation and release as well.
Beautiful. What do the women, so the women that are listening, so the men are in this initial part are sharing, and what do the women walk away with from hearing the men share about their sexuality and genitalia?
Yeah, I want to start or answer that by saying the first time that I did this, kind of an accident how it came about 4 years ago, the whole process. And I'll never forget what this woman said 4 years ago in Boulder on the first time we created this experimental thing. And she said, when I came in here tonight, I had a hard heart towards men, and I was scared of them, and I thought they all wanted the same thing, and I thought they were all the same way. And I feel my heart has softened, and I feel closer, and I feel trusting, and I feel more connected, and feel more open to men than I ever have. And it's such a precious and sacred opportunity that we get to experience men and cockhavers in a way that we don't always get to experience them, in this vulnerable, transparent, raw way. And we get to see the layers of their full human experience around what it's like to have been them with their genitals and with their sexuality and with their gender.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about the second half, the Pussy Project. What is that like, and what do both the men and the women walk away with in that?
I think for the pussy havers, they get to say things freely that maybe they never have, and they get to say things in front of men maybe they never have. They get to be heard. I know for me, I'm gonna get a little emotional. What I've experienced is that there's a lot of pain when women are talking about their experiences about the violation that we've experienced in our life. There's a lot of beauty too, and I'm not just trying to say it's only this thing. And when the men, the outside circle, share what they got out of it, it's oftentimes like, wow, I finally get why women want to feel safe. I finally understand, as they're witnessing for an hour and a half, and there's nothing they can do. They're just witnessing us share our stories. I finally get why there's vigilance and why there's an importance of safety. And the witness circle is often so overwhelmed with emotion. They have a difficult time sometimes articulating it because they're experiencing so much in their system. So for me, it's a relief to know that I feel like I have more allies when I walk out of there. Like I feel like I'm going to be more protected because they get me more now.
Yeah.
I'll stop there.
Yeah, when I think of the experience of being in the witness circle for the Pussy Project, it's a beautiful opportunity. One of the things that I hold dear in terms of the young energy or the masculine energy is that space holding energy, is like creating containers and holding that space in a compassionate way, and really getting the opportunity, like the gift of being able to do that. And these women or pussy owners allowing us to witness their challenges and their trials and their vulnerabilities, as well as their celebrations. It's such a beautiful gift to receive, to be in a space that allows me to see the other in this other light in a way that seems real, and to find connection in that, to find that. One of the things that I notice most of the time is that I am not that much different from those who are supposedly so different from me. Our experiences are often very similar. Our challenges are similar, and our deeper desires are often very similar as well. So there's just this feeling of release of all these barriers or boundaries, and realizing that we can actually unify around a subject that actually is literally the unification of masculine and feminine energy.
Yeah, it's so awesome. So beautiful.
I like that one, Sean. Well said.
So who would you say this event is for?
For anyone that feels nervous and a little intimidated by reading the description of the event or thinking about going to this event. For anyone that feels like they have a story that they want to be heard. For anyone that feels like they want support. For anyone that feels like they want to understand and have more empathy and compassion for either someone of the same gender or the opposite gender. For anyone who's passionate about witnessing and holding space and loving their human being friends. Anyone who's ready to let go of shit that they're holding on to that's holding them back from being even more liberated and free as our beautiful human selves.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All humans. It's for humans.
Above the age of 18.
That.
Cool. So how can people who are interested in this event learn more and sign up to attend?
Yeah, we'll put the link to the event, and all events can be found on my website, which is HazelGraceYates.com, and I'll put the link in the video.
Okay, awesome. Well, cool. Is there any final things that you guys would like to share? Why don't you share the event, the times, any other helpful logistical information?
Yeah, we'll throw that in the video.
Okay. And it's October 15th?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Yep. And any other final things you want to share before we wrap it up today?
just appreciation to you, Chris, for
Mm-hmm.
also being on this team in the world, in the work that you do, and taking the time to show up to this event and to have this conversation and to be generous enough to invite your people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
thank you. Absolutely. It's my pleasure. I will be attending, so I'll be there. I'm looking forward to going through the process myself, and I just think it's amazing what you guys are doing, and I look forward to an amazing event.
Awesome.
Thanks, Chris.
Blessings.